You know the feeling. It happens somewhere between the third cup of cold coffee and the reflexive nod you give to a colleague who asks how you are, even though you have absolutely no idea. You are not tired in the physical sense, you are tired in a way that sleep cannot touch. You have become a professional ghostwriter for your own life, carefully scripting every reaction, every laugh, and every measured silence to ensure that the performance remains flawless. The mirror doesn't show a person anymore, it shows a curated installation, a sculpture of expectations polished to a shine so bright it blinds the people looking at you, and more importantly, it blinds you. You wake up and immediately reach for the mask you left on the bedside table, sliding it on with the muscle memory of a long-term actor. You are the protagonist of a movie you never auditioned for, reciting lines that feel like sand in your throat, perpetually terrified that if you drop the act for even a heartbeat, the audience will see the static behind your eyes. The world demands a version of you that is consistent, capable, and perpetually illuminated, so you give it to them, paying for it with the only currency you have left, your actual self. The afternoon light hits the office window, turning the dust motes into tiny, suspended interrogators. You are sitting at your desk, the cursor on your screen blinking with a rhythmic, mocking indifference. Your inbox is a graveyard of urgent requests, and you are answering them with the same polite, hollow precision you have mastered over years of forced social navigation. You feel the weight of a dozen different versions of yourself that you have to maintain: the helpful employee, the supportive friend, the composed partner, the patient listener. Each one requires a specific posture, a specific vocabulary, and a specific suppression of everything you actually feel. You are drowning in the shallows, gasping for air while everyone around you is busy complimenting your buoyancy. Inside, the noise is deafening. It is a cacophony of questions you refuse to answer. Why does this feel like a performance? When did being seen stop meaning being understood? You are constantly monitoring your own output, adjusting the brightness of your smile, checking if your tone carries the appropriate amount of empathy. It is an exhausting, second-by-second calculation, a complex internal algorithm designed to prevent anyone from realizing that the house is empty. Walking home, the city feels like a stage set you are obligated to navigate with grace. You watch the people passing by, couples whispering, friends laughing, and you feel like a satellite drifting in a different orbit, observing a reality you are no longer part of. You find yourself analyzing the micro-expressions of strangers, wondering if they too are holding their breath behind a mask of normalcy. You reach your apartment, and the moment the deadbolt clicks into place, the exhaustion hits with the physical force of a collapsed wall. You don't turn on the lights. You sit on the floor in the dark, the silence finally allowed to stretch out and touch you. This is the moment the theater closes, and the janitors come in to sweep away the confetti of your day. Your chest aches with a heavy, leaden pressure, the accumulated weight of 1,000 small lies you have told just to stay on. You think about the things you wanted to say today, the raw, jagged truths that remained trapped in your throat because they didn't fit the script. They are piling up like debt, interest growing with every day of silence. You are not sad in the way the world understands sadness, you are simply absent from yourself, a tenant who has long since stopped paying rent to their own consciousness. The irony is that the better you get at the performance, the more isolated you become. You have engineered a version of yourself that is so palatable, so easy to deal with, that no one ever questions if you are actually there. Your friends love the mask, your colleagues admire the mask, your family relies on the mask. And you? You have become the primary caretaker of this fabrication, feeding it your time, your energy, and your silence. You look at your hands in the darkness, and they feel like the hands of a stranger, distant and disconnected from the intent of the mind that tries to command them. You wonder what would happen if you walked into tomorrow and simply refused to participate. What if you gave an answer that wasn't rehearsed? What if you let the frustration show in the cracks of your voice? The thought is terrifying, yet it is the only thing that makes you feel alive. You are trapped in a feedback loop of your own making, addicted to the approval that keeps you invisible. You are terrified of the judgment that might come if you were honest, yet you are being slowly erased by the silence of keeping the truth. The overthinking starts again, a cold, clinical dissection of the day's interactions, looking for errors in the performance. You are the critic, the director, and the lead actor, and the production is failing because you have forgotten the plot. You are not a person anymore, you are a service provided to the people around you, and the cost of the service is your entire soul. Somewhere in the deep, quiet hours, the realization settles in like frost on a windowpane. You are not waiting for a break, you are waiting for a permission slip that will never come. You have been waiting for someone to look at you, really look at you, and ask, "Are you still in there?" But you have made it impossible for them to see anything but the glare of the mask. The tragedy is not that you are lonely, it is that you are lonely while surrounded by the people who believe they know you perfectly. You have built a fortress out of your own personality, a structure so robust that not even you can find the way out anymore. You realize that the exhausting maintenance of this image is not a duty you owe to others, but a prison you have constructed to protect a version of yourself that you are no longer sure exists. The silence isn't a lack of sound, it is the sound of you disappearing, bit by bit, to keep the show running. You realize that you have become a master of the stage, but you have lost the ability to live off camera. You are perfectly staged, perfectly lit, and completely absent, and you have finally stopped waiting for the curtain to fall, because you have realized you are the one holding the rope. The light is heavy, and the dark is cold. I am the performance, and I am the void. Everything I show is a masterpiece. Everything I feel is a secret.